Trustee Akaka is probably, where? Oh, is she taking it from? Where's your? Oh, she is in her office. You're right. Oh,
This has to be visual.
you know too well. Yes. Right. Oh, let me go text him. He might be having his lunch too. We did take, Okay, so if you guys don't mind, I'd like to kind of take this out. It'll be really quick because I want to acknowledge our employee. Okay, just real quick, kind. And as soon as and that way we'll move on in that. So by the time we finish up, Kale would be here already. She'll show up. All right, so so at this time, I'd like to continue on with our BNF meeting, but I'm going to take this a little bit out of order because we want to acknowledge one of OHA's employees who is no longer going to be with us. And so we'd like to have him come up. And Kelsey, where are you? Come, hurry up, come over here. We want to acknowledge you. Get over here. Go sit by Keone. And then while you're at it, do an hula for us. Not kidding. Oh, can. Okay, so I would like, Kihao, if you don't want to start that off, because I know you guys have a few things you want to say for him.
Mahalo, Chair Lapa. I did just ask if we could have a couple of minutes to aloha and celebrate Kelsey Wade, who has been with us in IT as our solutions delivery technician. I think you guys are all kama'aina. He's been one of the guys always helping out when we have board meetings. But today is his last day, unfortunately. He's leaving us to go over to the state. So you want to say a few words?
Is this on? Okay. Yeah, it's been fun. I'd like to thank everybody. Thank you for being friendly and welcoming, and it's been great helping you. Helping you guys with your IT issues and learning accounting stuff and all the different challenges that I've encountered here at OHA. It's been great to contribute to the Hawaiian people. Yeah, I'll miss everybody. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Okay, you gotta go. No, I'm kidding. Okay, bye. Mahalo, Kelsey. All right, at this time, we're going to do a roll call so we can add that to our minutes today. Go ahead, Pohai, please call roll.
Trustee Akaka.
Oh, we need to do roll call again.
Yeah, 'cause
Yes,
with the
speak for the
recess.
record.
Oh, yeah.
Trustee Aquina.
Present.
Trustee Galutario, not here.
Nope.
Trustee Kahele.
Present.
Trustee Lindsay. Trustee Souza.
Yo.
Vice Chair Wahe'e.
Nope, he's gone.
He not. And Chair Lapa.
Present.
Quorum established.
All right, so at this time, though, we head to the last portion of our BF committee meeting. Our last item on the agenda today is item G. And once again, it's an update on the OHA preliminary biennium budget for fiscal year 2026, 2027. And again, our administration and everyone else has worked so hard and continue to meet the needs of our trustees and the concerns, questions, approvals, all of this, that they may have it ready for the operations and programs of OHA. This time, this presentation will be done by our administration. and will be providing us a status update as of April 25th, 2025. I would like to call upon our CFO, Ramona Hing.
Aloha Chair,
Mahalo.
trustees.
Hi.
Passed out is a revised preliminary budget that we pretty much revised today. I think this is not really a presentation today, but more of a Q&A, yeah? So if there's any questions, then we're here to answer.
I know our trustees, we have the opportunities on several occasions to review, to go online. We had our budget presentation last night. And yes, 2 of them so far. It was pretty good. And yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, you guys. And any of those of our beneficiaries are fortunate to watch it last night and yesterday morning. So it gives our trustees an opportunity to review this incredible presentation of the potential of having this confirmed by our committee, by our board trustees for the 26-27 year. And this budget, if there's a chance for you folks to ask the questions, let's do it now. Go ahead, Trustee Akaka.
Thank you. First, I want to just acknowledge and mahalo. Some of what I had asked for did happen. When it comes specifically to the wording of the PLT and it being prefaced with talking about it being our Hawaiian Kingdom Crown and Government lands, I do appreciate that was implemented into part of the presentation in the midday and evening time.
Any other discussions from our trustees or questions regarding the updated preliminary budget? Okay, yes, go ahead, Trustee Akina.
Ramona, please pass on to the rest of the team my compliments on an excellent job. There's a tool that I've talked about that would be helpful to me at least, and I think to a lot of people, and that is something that helps integrate the metrics and outcomes of our strategic plan with the actual budget expenditures, whether it's a list or a chart, maybe something where we could look at an intended outcome, such as the amount of the percentage of Hawaiians who have housing, or reducing a certain figure like the percentage of Hawaiians who are incarcerated, and connecting that directly to budgetary expenditure. So when we vote on the budget item, we can see whether it's producing the outcome or not.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Elena Farding to come up. Thank you for those questions. And so I will say in our budget briefings, we have we will be talking about, and I do want to say mahalo to the board for the opportunity for all of our PAIA to do budget briefings. But as part of that, that will be an opportunity to see how some of the costs are directly outlined to what we're looking at as in terms of success outcomes for each of the programs and initiatives.
Well,
And I'll let Elena
thank you. And
speak a little more.
Elena did a good job of fielding questions earlier today on the strategic plan side of the question. So what I'm really asking is the integration of the strategic plan and the budget, so that I can look at and see the intended outcomes in our the actual budgetary expenditures, and so that I can make budgetary decisions using that information.
So thank you, Trustee Akina, for the question. At the time, we have our indicators report, which indicate the baseline where we're at currently with all of our strategic outcomes and the target where we want to be at in 2035. However, these baselines and targets are based on population level data. It's not based on project or community level data. I would recommend, and I shared this with the leadership team, understanding your need for data and metrics to understand where we're going in the progress to put in our strategic outcomes, which are there. However, This is an agenda item that will be coming up with the BAE leadership and then to the BOT as a general information. It would make more sense to have that conversation separately than to add it within to the budget at this time. Also because our research and evaluation team has been working with other data partners across the state with that population level data.
Okay.
We want to ensure that we are good data partners in sharing that out first with them to let them know, here's what we have, here's what we're setting for our baseline. We want to make sure you as partners, because we're going to work with you throughout this time, are okay with this, and then we can share it publicly. So if you could give us some time to work that through with R&E, as well as having that conversation with you separate, we're happy to dive in deeper with data. It's our most favorite thing to do.
Well, I appreciate that explanation, and it's very helpful because I agree with you. There are at least two ways to look at the data. One would be a micro, one would be a macro. Micro meaning taking a look at the grants we provide, the programs we sponsor, and the specific outcomes, which we do pretty well through our grants evaluation. The other being macro, which is looking at how we're having an impact on all of the Native Hawaiians in Hawaii and beyond. And I recognize the difference. So I do look forward to that conversation, and I won't expect that to be the focus here. My question back to budget side has more to do with how I make budgetary decisions, or how we make budgetary decisions for the upcoming budget, and how we evaluate whether the expenditure in one area is producing the results that we need. So we need some kind of bridge. I know we won't be able to answer all of the cause and effect questions, but maybe back to you, Ramona, in terms of budget. Thank you, Elena.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that
That's
these,
great.
these programs
I have a net.
and good, got a get out of jail card free.
I have
Okay,
a
I'm gonna,
cookie afterward.
I'm gonna say that for these programs and grants, maybe we could at our budget briefing provide, what we're projecting. Is that reasonable? Elena? For the programs that we're listing separately as for on contracts, would you have it by projected touches?
For most of the programs that we're proposing or projecting, we do have short, medium, and long-term outcomes of what they look like. With that, we would still need to work with R&E on what those metrics will look like. Every program is going to be designed differently, so that evaluation design will also look a little bit different. But we're happy to go through that as well.
Well, I appreciate that. I know that this is a challenging question, and it's stretching our way of looking at things, but I'm just wanting to make sure that we as OHA can really answer before the legislature, the public, our other constituents, and of course our beneficiaries, how we are really moving the standard of where beneficiaries are in terms of really meeting their needs. But thank you. Thank you very much.
Go ahead, trustee Souza.
Mahalo, Madam Chair. I would like to ask a question. I noticed things changed, this preliminary budget changed, I think about 3 times in this last week. So the final updated version, I didn't get to go through. I had the last one that I was making notes on. But the one we received today, I don't have. But I just want to ask a question on how things potentially go from like 2 to 3 million or 5 million. Why is there a difference, a substantial difference in this updated version? What, is it going to another line item, or is it, how is it being moved around?
Yeah, which new?
I'm on total operating budget right now. I'm on total operating budget. I mean, the 2 million.
Okay, so the majority of the change was due to a cell calculation error that I wasn't able to find in time. And I'm not saying that as an excuse, but it is what it is, right? It was the 23rd. we did our presentation, and then the 23rd, we found out we have to do another presentation on the 30th. So we basically had less than 2 days to do it, and then we worked over the weekend to do the presentation. So I think that how that can get resolved is, next time, I'm just gonna have to ask for more time if I think
Yeah.
that I need it,
Please.
right? Yeah,
So that it come out. You
yeah.
have to do it 3-4 times, yeah.
Right. So I just want to say that there's a $1.6 million difference in the personnel formula in the April 30th report. And so the April 23rd report is correct, and then we just corrected it from then.
Do we anticipate this changing a couple more times before the budget briefings? I'm just asking so we can be prepared on that number when we're receiving these briefings by the different PAYA.
No, we do not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mahalo, Ramona.
Anyone else? Go ahead, trustee Akaka.
Hello. To ask about the Federal Advocacy Fellowship Program, because after we were finished with last week's meeting, I recalled that we in 2019 and it was featured in Kawai Ola as well. There was the renaming and expansion of the Congressional Fellowship, which was, I'm proud to share that it's renamed the Daniel K or Kahikina Kaka Congressional Fellowship. And I was wondering, is that no longer in place that where we're partnering with Kamehameha schools? Or is it where this is something completely different?
So so the proposal for this program actually came from the Board of Trustees. Right now, as it's listed, I believe it's for 6 fellows, that there would be some, perhaps cost sharing with other Native Hawaiian organizations to have fellows in Washington, DC. So we've left it there, and we want to honor this, but honestly, I'm not aware of any previous programs, but I think this maybe was Chair Kahele who had put this one in. We're open to, helping to execute and co-design, and so I think there's a few programs here that were proposed by the board, where we want to work with you, take your lead, and help to co-design it so that we can execute and implement.
But I think it's good, but I'm wondering, are we replicating it, or do we already have the other one in place and we're just doing something different but sounding similar, or has this retired, that partnership with KS?
I'll be honest, I'm not aware of any
Yeah.
current partnerships in that space.
Yeah.
I don't think we have anything right now on the books,
Yeah.
but again, like it can be whatever we want to envision and design together.
I'd be interested if you folks can reach out to Kamehameha schools to see when the last set of communications was on that. Because I don't know if there's a mutual understanding that it's not going to continue, or it's just on pause right now, or it's somehow continuing more on their end. Oh,
Mahai lama.
Mahalo, Trustee Akaka. The AHA OPO actually faded away completely. So when I was the
it's the fellowship one.
okay, because you're asking about Kamehameha's involvement. So what I was going to say is when I was the when I was the director of Kona Oahu, I brought it back. So whatever was existing at Kamehameha at that time, which is 2016, is from the initiative of Kona Oahu district, which later on I carried through until I left last year. And that eventually contracted out. Ian Costino he had been carrying that through with the Association of Hawaiian Civic Clubs. So we brought it to the Association of Hawaiian Civic Club in 2019, bringing the AHA OPO. What we tried to do is merge AHA OPO of the association, thinking that there was a body convening in that manner. So can we bring the OPO to the convention? And then I asked for Kamehameha through my budget to support this. And so really it got lifted in 2019. And so if you saw anything connected to Kamehameha recently, it was that effort. But before the previous one,
Well, thank you for sharing that regarding Aho Pio. However, what I was specifically talking about was the Congressional Fellowship. So
Oh,
that's in like going
I'm
to
sorry.
Washington DC, but in collaboration with Kamehameha schools. So and the reason why that jogged my memory is because last week we talked about this budgeted item of the Federal Advocacy Fellowship Program.
Mhm.
And then when I was recalling what we were doing in the meeting, then I then recalled that in 2019 in Kavaiola, the staff had asked me about providing a quote as this is my grandfather.
Mhm.
So it was already in place, but they had renamed it and expanded it and partnered with Kamehameha School. So I was wondering, is that on pause? Is it?
Well, that's an
Has-
easy question we can find out.
Yeah.
When I left Kamehameha, I thought it had ceased that year, but I can confirm
Yeah,
that for
because
you.
this one, so I have the article in front of me that was 2019.
Yeah, 2024, when I left, I thought it was no longer, but I'll find out to confirm.
Thank you.
Mahalo.
Thank you.
You have a question? Trustee Lindsay?
Yeah. Over the weekend, I was reviewing a report from administration, one of the EJNJ.BI.sender ad workflow report. And I noticed that this is almost the end of this fiscal year, and we gave out only $8 million in grants. Is that a fact?
Talking about like the PR or PO reports or.
Yeah.
So, I think we have an updated grants report, but and this is something that has been ongoing, right? We've been talking about it throughout all the board meetings. Just given our limited capacity, it has been a challenge to get all of the funds that were awarded in September, October, to get those out. We've been, I'm gonna say we've been a little tardy on just existing grants and assessments and getting those out, but we're catching up on that. And then two, we are also actively working on getting out our contracts and PRs for funds that were awarded earlier this fiscal year, so September, October. We have one grants supervisor, two grants officers, and then we have, I believe, 4 staff who have taken on Kuleana to help us get caught up. So we do have a goal to at least encumber all of our grant funds. One of our grants officers, she was out for a couple of months. She's back and she's been cranking out contracts and PRs to get us caught up. And so it is our goal to at least get caught up, to get our contracts out, to get all of our funds encumbered before the end of this fiscal year. I don't know that 8 million is accurate, like to say that that's all we've dispersed this year. I would have to follow up and check on that.
That was just, I'm just giving you a round figure of what I saw on the report because I was kind of shocked. And now I don't know whether it includes the 3 million to Hawaiian homes and the 3 million to charter schools. I don't know that from looking at that report. So I was just concerned. And while I'm on the subject, what happened to our emergency funds? What's the status of that? I've been asking for a whole year.
Yes, you have. Mahalo ke akua. So that one has finally been executed. And so we have a start date of May 5th. It is Hawaiian Community Assets who will be who is
Distributing.
the grantee and who will be dispersing those funds. And so our comms team is working with their comms team. So we do want to do like a launch to community to let them know that this fund will be active and, makaukau.
Available.
Yeah. So mahalo for your persistence and
Yes.
happy to say, and I mahalo Chelsea Evan Enos from HCA for, when we finally got things executed, like contract, I think our PR, I hope our call out went out. I think it did. Normally it will take a longer time for an organization to stand up and get ready for program, but they're turning it around pretty quickly. So yay, I get to share that.
Well, I'd like to find out for the neighbor islands, all the islands, including Molokai and Hawaii, Kauai, how are our people going to access those funds? Because I don't think Hawaii community assets are on our islands.
Go ahead.
Okay, another limb I'll go out on is to make sure that all the PRs are in place by June 30th for all the grants, so none of them lapse.
Thank you so much. Yes, go ahead, Trustee Kaka.
Mahalo. I wanted to ask regarding two things, which is page 12 under beneficiary grants and services. The first one being under health outcomes, Kealapono sex trafficking initiative. I wanted to get a little more insight into that. I was very happy to see that in here, as this is something I really want us to continue to have a focus on from a county, state, federal approach. And I wanted to know how that's going to work with our beyond just health, but with our advocacy as well.
What item was that?
It's page 12 under health outcomes. The first one, Kealapono. Yeah.
We have huge federal funds for sex trafficking. Really? We do.
Hirono, that's why I am. Because Hirono. That's her thing. That's her thing.
So this particular initiative is in alignment with not only MIMO, but also the past activities for OHA being involved in the missing and murdered women and girls, Indigenous girls. So they've been on that particular working group. As far as the details of the initiative, I don't have those details, but I'm happy to get them and get back to you.
And I'd be happy to work on that with you folks, as this is something that I personally have a lot of let's say an initiative that really has gotten my attention as I attended that missing and murdered Indigenous peoples when they had gathered here at the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. And I believe, Luana, you were there. Keone, I think maybe you're there. It was quite powerful. I mean, there was a gal named Kalei who did or is still working at the AG's office, having the lived experience of this and the bravery and how she puts that experience into helping others that have are currently in or trying to recover from that. And then also to hallmark not last year but the year prior, for one of the Oahu Island community meetings, this one being in the Waimanalo community, how Ashley, I want to say Ashley Maha'a, she had also shared some of her background, having the lived experience and the bravery and what she does in her work to help battle this within our community. And I think that there's so many sources that we can pull from, so we don't have to do this alone. And I know that Senator Hirono, this is a huge priority for her as well. So I'd be interested in seeing how we can continue to work from a county, state, federal, and when I say county, I mean island, the Hawaiian Islands wide, because one of the statistics shows that particularly on Hawaii Island, let's say the Hilo side, east side, that is some of the highest numbers of those that are being trafficked and let's say end up here on this island and not by choice. Yeah. So
For sure, we look forward to working with you as well. One of the outskirts or one of the projections that we do hope with Kealapono sex trafficking is also to learn from the models from the state of Florida Florida has the largest percentage of sex trafficking because of their location and where they're at within the geographical
Yes.
location. So they are also the first state to enact sex trafficking prevention education throughout their entire education system for the state. And they found that through task force. So we're hoping that this may evolve in that way based on what is needed for here in Hawaii, but we can learn from other models like the state of Florida.
Thank you. Speaking of which, whenever I'd be going up for investment training in Florida, as I would go through the airport, I go to the Lua or I'm walking through the airport, I see the signage in different language. So what do I do in turn? I take a photo and I send it to my guys. So we have that verbiage and see what they're doing overseas and seeing how we're doing it. So just for instance, this morning at our airport, I see a big sign specifically regarding traffic. So what do? I take a photo and then I'm going to share it with my team so that I like to keep track on what's out there and seeing what are those that are experiencing it, what's exposed to them in terms of the reach out so they have a number to contact or knowing that people are trying to get them out of it, and thank you for sharing that with me. The second thing too is I wanted to ask regarding on the same page under economic stability, expanding career pathways and tech and innovation paid internships. How soon are we planning to roll that out and who are we partnering with on that?
Sure, I'll ask our director, Pony, to come. She can speak more on that specific program.
Thank you. This question was about the
Economic
Oh, tech-
stability,
yes.
tech and
This
innovation.
is, yeah, tech and innovation paid internships.
Yes. And who we're going to work with?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, because we have to go through the procurement process, but I do hope that on my radar right now is Purple Maya and some of the scholarships and internship programs that they're asking for and soliciting involves technology as it relates to INA. So INA-based technology, they are rolling out a program with Nation to do kind of like an INA-based lab to learn more about identifying the challenges that happen with our streams, our waterways, water pollution. And so I'm particularly interested in how we can partner with Purple Maya because they are offering opportunities for our beneficiaries to get careers in high demand, high paying jobs and careers. And so I think that aligns with MIMO in the sense that we're helping to ensure that our beneficiaries are making a livable wage, but also doing so in a place that's grounded in our INA and our INA recovery as well. So that's just one example.
Mahalo. But how many are we looking to serve in, let's say, a year's time under this program?
So the entirety of the budget is not only for that. And so that would just be one portion. There's another program that I'm looking to facilitate that also offers the certifications in FAA. So drone pilot certifications. So across the board between multiple programs, I'm hoping to service about 50 to 60 beneficiaries in these certifications and internship opportunities.
It's nothing having to do with AI. It's more strictly like INA-based partnering.
Yeah, I haven't called out specifically AI. I mean, AI could be incorporated if that made sense for something that was INA based.
Okay, mahalo.
Yeah.
Okay, any more discussion at this time or questions for our admin?
Chair, I'd just like to share that we received a schedule of the many meetings that our administration
Briefings.
is going to have with our beneficiaries. And I think it's really educational for us trustees to watch some of those, and we'll get more and more familiar with our budget so we know the answers to our questions.
Thank you so much for that. I mean, me as well, as I'm sitting through it and reviewing everything they go over, and you'll probably see it another 5 more times in the coming days. So yes, thank you for that. I do encourage our trustees, if you have a chance to, because everything we're seeing here is what's going to be presented. And of course, we still have a few more. I've got to tweak here and there and, update numbers. Go ahead, Ramona.
Trustee Souza, I just wanted to circle back with the question about any changes. And so there's still the ad hoc committee changes
the
that
salary.
might occur. And then there's community input and BOT input during the budget briefing. So as you know, those things happen. But as of now, this is the numbers, and we can go with these numbers at the briefing, except for, any kinds of ad hoc committee changes.
Okay, if there's anything else, I'm going to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Aye.
Trustee Aquina. Trustee Lindsay.
Aye.
Trustee Souza. And Trustee Kahele.
Aye.
And Chair Lapa.
Aye.